So in this video, our goal is to classify polynomials. Now this says state the degree and the numerical coefficient. Now we talked in the other video that when I had 4x cubed, what was the 4? The coefficient. The x was the, and the 3 is the exponent. Good. And so in problem number 1, it says state the degree and the numerical coefficient. The numerical coefficient is the number in front. So you can see they told you the numerical coefficient was what? 4. Now the degree is the highest exponent in the problem. What's the highest exponent here? 2. So the degree is what? 2. Look at number 3. What is the numerical coefficient in 3? I mean in number 3. 3, right. And now, what is the y's exponent understood to be? 1. And so what is the degree going to be? 1. When there's not an exponent, the exponent's understood to be 1. Okay, look at 5. What is the numerical coefficient on 5? 7. And then, what is our exponent? When they don't write one, when you don't even see a variable written to an exponent, what's the exponent? 0. Good. Because it's not even there. First, on 7, it's really easy to tell what the numerical coefficient is. What's the numerical coefficient? -5. So I'm going to write -5 right there. But now they want me to tell the degree. Well, you notice here, there was just one base, wasn't there? And here, there's just one base, isn't there? But now, guys, how many bases are in this problem? 3. So what you got to do is you got to add up all their exponents to tell the degree. Okay? So let me rewrite this. I've got -5, x, and what's x's exponent?
1.
To the first. Y squared. And what's z's exponent?
1.
And so now what I do is I take all the exponents and add them. 1 plus 2 plus 1 is? 4. And so the degree is 4. Okay, let's look at number 9. What is the numerical coefficient on number 9? -8. Okay, and now I look at the degrees, right? And I say, okay, x is to the third, y is to the second. 3 plus 2 is?
5.
What's z's exponent?
1.
So I got 3 plus 2 plus 1, which is?
6.
6. That's what's called the degree. So if I ask you the degree, that's what you would tell me. So now what they're wanting us to do is write the highest degree term of each polynomial. So they're wanting me to look at this term and tell the degree, at this term and tell the degree, at this term and at this term, right? Each thing that's separated with a plus or a minus is a term. So how many terms do I have in number 4? I'm in number 11. Yeah, I got a term here, separated by a minus sign. Another term here, separated by a plus sign. Another term here, separated by a plus sign, and another term. Just 7 by itself is just a term. Now, let's tell the degree of each of those terms. What is the degree of the first term? 4. Because I've got cubed, and then this is y to the first, so the degree is 4, right? What's the degree of the second term? 2, because I've got an exponents of 1 on both. Now, the exponent on this x is 1, so what's the degree of this term? 3. And what's the degree of this one? 0, not 1, 0. Okay? Now, it says write the highest degree term. Well, this one's the highest degree term, which is why they wrote it right there. Does that make sense? So now we need to look at 13, and we need to say, okay, what's the degree of this first term? 3. What's the degree of this second term?
6.
Yeah, 3 plus 2 plus 1 is 6. This term is to the first, so we got 1 plus 2 plus 1 is 4. So now we say, well, which one is the highest degree term? The second one, so that's the one I'm going to write down. 3x to the third, y to the second, z. Okay, so as we evaluate this, we look and we know we have 1, 2, 3 terms, don't we? How many terms do we have? 3. And what's the degree of our first term? 4. Very good. The reason it's 4 is because this x is to the first, the y is to the second, and the z is to the first. So 1 plus 2 plus 1 is 4. Now what's the degree of our second term? 4 also. And what's the degree of our third term? 6. So we're going to write the third term down. It's our highest degree term. 2x squared, y squared, z squared. So as we look at the directions, it says state the degree of each polynomial. So we're going to look at each term. We're going to look at this term. We're going to look at this term. We're going to look at this one. And we're going to look at this one. And we're going to tell the degree of each term. And whichever one has the highest degree, that's the one we write. Okay? So what's the degree of our first term? 1. What's the degree of our second term? Our third term? And our fourth term. And so the highest term is 3. So our whole polynomial's degree is 3. You take the highest one. Okay, look at this. What's the degree of this one? 2. What's the degree of this one? 2. And what's the degree of this one? 2. And so the whole polynomial's degree is 2. Okay, look right here. What is the degree of this one? 5. 3 plus 1 plus 1 is 5. What's the degree of this one? 3, because 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. What's the degree of this one? 4. So I've got a 5, a 3, and a 4. Which one's the highest? 5. So my whole polynomial's degree is 5. All right, so on this last section, it says write each polynomial in descending powers of the variable. Now what that means is, do you see how this is cubed? And then what's this one? Squared. And then what's this one? To the first. And what's this one? So they want you to take the degree and write it from biggest to smallest. Right? So let's look at number 24. Which one of them has the largest degree? Negative 9z cubed. So I'm going to write negative 9z cubed first. Then which one has the second biggest degree? 8z squared. So since it's positive, I'm going to write plus 8z squared. And then this negative 2z is the next highest. So I'm going to write minus 2z. And then 7 is a degree of 0, so it'll go last, plus 7. So you wrote it in descending order, which means from biggest to what? Smallest. Okay, look at the number 25. Which one of these has the biggest degree? Negative 7y to the 5th. So it's super easy. We've got negative 7y to the 5th comes first because its degree is 5. So I'm going to write negative 7y to the 5th. And then I've got 3y squared is the next biggest. So I'll go plus 3y squared. And then 2y is the next biggest. So I'll say plus 2y. And then positive 2 comes last. Now, why did I use a plus sign here? And why did I use a plus sign there and a plus sign there, but I got a negative there? Yeah, look, since this 2 is positive, I put a plus. If the 2 had been negative, then what would I have put right here? A minus.